Submission is not seen as a control mechanism. Submission is a natural byproduct of being with a natural, healthy, masculine man. Men have always been and will always be the ordained leaders of society, and no amount of social progress will be able to undo the order that God himself established. You know, the funny thing is that we know this on a very instinctual level, because the very women who are resistant to the idea of male leadership in any capacity are also the same women who will go around and complain about not being protected, and men need to pay all the bills, and insist on men proposing, insist on men being chivalrous. Like, so on an instinctual level, we know that there are things from men that we want. When danger happens, this whole independent thing usually goes out the door. If you're in a room with men and danger happens, you are looking to that male to step up and protect you. And when it doesn't happen, all of social media hears about it. So we know this on an instinctual level. We know this. We are hardwired to understand this. But when it comes to now how we function and operate together, these walls come up. Now, what I'm not saying is that women are meant to be controlled, subjugated, have no voice. They are second-class citizens. They are just eternal children, and that they themselves also don't have unique leadership qualities in areas where they themselves can lead. I'm not saying that. But what I am trying to establish is that men are the foundation. They are the ones that help establish, form society, and the healthy view of men and a healthy understanding of how men and women work together is foundational to a thriving community. It's important to understand the value that men have to society. Even if we think of the creation story, right, between Adam and Eve. Adam came first. God created Adam, had him establish the garden, had him name things, had him maintain it. He essentially set the foundation before Eve came along. And whether or not you think that story is literal or figurative, however you read it, there still are some principles to glean. Again, men being the foundation of societies. It has pretty much always been like that. And the reason a lot of us can sit around right now and complain and talk about why we don't need men is because we literally have a society that was created by men that gives us the privilege to do so. Third world countries or developing nations where people are still trying to establish a lot of things, women are very much in their feminine because they recognize that they pretty much need their men to survive. Again, the very reason we can have these kind of conversations is because the society created by men in the West has given us the privilege to do so. But again, that doesn't change the principle that we have seen operating since the beginning of time. Men go out and build, they go out and sometimes war, they take over territories, they establish territories, they go out and hunt. Those qualities still exist today. So instead of trying to resist that, instead of trying to pretend like that's wrong or that we don't need those people, I think it's in our best interest to honor and acknowledge the value that men have. And especially if you are a woman, let's say you are a woman in the Black community and you want to see things do better, you have to understand that that is going to require respecting and honoring the men that are around you. Because when men walk away, society crumbles. Now, it's important to distinguish the difference between a godly man, a good, healthy male leader, and a toxic man, right? If you are following a toxic male, someone that is dominating you, controlling you, being abusive, whether it be verbally, physically, undermining you, trying to keep you down, not allowing you to be yourself, constantly tearing you down, that's not what we're talking about. That is not God-ordained leadership, and that is not God's overall intention for your life as a woman. But when you are connected with a good man, someone who was protecting you, guarding you, providing vision, providing insight, providing a different perspective, keeping you from harm in certain ways, giving wisdom, giving insight that is unique. Again, those are all things that God can strategically place in your life to help you ultimately reach your destiny as a woman. And that can come through multiple ways. It can come through a father, it can come through a pastor, it can come through an uncle, through a grandpa, even through a brother, through a husband. I mean, there are many different ways that God could be talking to us, or there are many different ways that we could be having answers to prayers literally right in front of us. But because sometimes we are so resistant to the idea of men telling us anything or men offering any advice, we could literally miss out on our own blessing. I believe that there are women out there today who are missing out on having a fulfilling life and are even missing out on answered prayers because they do not understand the way men operate, and they don't understand how actually partnering with a godly man can really help bring fulfillment in your life. Women who are resistant to male leadership and women who are resistant to leadership that God has placed in their life could be undermining blessings and could be undermining their own success. The Most High, He created man and woman. Both have beautiful qualities that when working together are powerful. This society has yet to experience the beauty that can come when godly men and women are working together to build a family. They're respecting and honoring one another. Submission is not seen as a control mechanism. Submission is a natural byproduct of being with a natural, healthy, masculine man. I think society has really yet to see that. But the answer is still the same. Whether or not society is operating like that or not, it doesn't change. The answer is still the same because there are certain laws and principles that God established, that God ordained, that ain't going away no matter how much things change. And I think the sooner we can recognize those things and get into alignment with the divine order, the sooner our lives start to go smoother in the long run. But anyways, those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Let me know. Leave your questions, comments, concerns in the comment section below. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.